Yo, what is good, boys and girls? Red Apple here. And well, it's time. It's time for me to present you the base which I used to hold for myself for such a long period of time. I was just re-engineering it over and over again to try and make it perfect. Well, it's up to you to decide if it's perfect, because this is definitely a strong word to say, but don't get me wrong, I just like it so much. Well, now meet the Ruby. Of course, it is using a multi-TC concept which gives us not only upkeep split into 3 parts, but also some nice boosts including secret lootrooms, which we're gonna talk about a bit later. It has a fully modular 360-degree roof, and at the end of this video I'll be showing you 3 different designs of the top floor. The cheap one, the simple shooting floor one, and the expanded one with external peekdowns. The reasoning behind is that you might want to change it depending on your playstyle, spot on the map, and situation with stone farming. This base does not have a bunker like we all like.
Wait, that's illegal.
But instead of that, we're using a whole bunch of reinforcements, which also means it's never gonna be patched. First of all, for the core of our base, we're using a drop-down guarded by shotgun traps. Next, we have an unlootable TC compartment. And well, yes, you can potentially drop a sleeping bag inside the TC triangle, but until you destroy external TCs, you won't get it. Moving on, there are 2 separate vaults spreading our loot into parts behind armored walls. If you're not a fan of it, well, no problem, it's just a part of Honeycomb, so it's purely additional, and if you think having 2 vaults is a problem, well, you can always have just one of them. As for me, I think they're pretty goddamn underrated. Well, we have a brand new type of unlootable loot rooms based on these cracks in walls and floors, which we get when we multi-TC our base. These loot rooms are just 2 boxes each, but our base is fully symmetrical, so we have 4 of them, and they are all nicely spread. Yes, you can install them at any point of the build and reinstall them if they get destroyed anyhow. No, they're not visible from the outside, so no one will know about your secrets.
Alright then, keep your secret.
Most of the cases when you destroy the box, the loot bag just drops down there and it can't be looted without breaking anything. Now just take a moment and look at this neat multi-TC stack. Isn't it a beauty, huh? She's a beauty, man. There's no gap, no cap. No gap, no cap. Speaking about the cost, here it is, pretty nice I'd say. I'm just gonna say I'm using absolute minimum HQM upgrades, so you might end up using a lot more depending on how you go through the wipe. Now speaking about the raid cost, if our aim is to get the main TC loot, the best path to raid is about 27 rockets. If your splash is good enough, you get one of the vaults in this case and 1 unlootable loot room. To grief the base, it's approximately 12 more rockets. To get the rest of the loot, you'll need more again, and it's not splashable, and a lot of it's unlootable. You got my point, it's a huge pain in the ass. No one talks about the downsides, but I think I have to. The only real downside which I see here is that the core of the base heavily relies on garage doors, which requires a lot of gears and blueprint itself, which we all know might be a problem. But I lived in this base for good 10 plus wipes on official servers, and for me it's that sweet balance between cost, protection, mobility, and size. Let's have a quick tour. So we have an entrance on this side, and another one on the opposite of it. I actually yoinked the idea of this custom gatehouse from Cosmonetic Films. As you may see, it's kind of in the middle between the external TCs, which is over here and over here. When we come inside, there's a drop box and a clear view of the outside. We have one entrance to the main building over here, and one entrance on the other side. When we go inside the base, here's some drop chests and the entrance to the 2nd floor. Now we have 2 options, to go this way or to go this way. I'm gonna choose to go this way because here we have our first unlootable loot room. As you may see, it's pretty easy to loot, and if you close this garage door, it becomes completely unseeable? Is that the word? I mean, you can't see it. That's the thing. So this is the first one. If you go over here, this is the 2nd one. If you go all the way around, this is the 3rd one. And this is the 4th one. As you may see, they're pretty much spread all around the base, so raiders won't get all at once. Now let's talk about the single doors. They are here basically because I love mobility inside the bases, and garage doors just take so long to close, and I don't want to close them every single time. And especially during some tense fights and online raids, this is not gonna help you. So this hallway is all around base, but coming inside one of the parts we have the core of our base. We have a couple of simple loot rooms on the sides of here. This drop down leads deeper in the core of the base. We're gonna go up to this floor, which is, as you may see right now, pretty empty. But this is basically left open for you to have your own ideas of what to put here. Maybe bedrooms, maybe more loot rooms. It's up to you. Moving on this way, we're gonna approach our shooting floor. Here we have a little watch room to safely enter our Peekdowns area. So we have some Peekdowns watching our custom gate over there. We have some Peekdowns watching our external TC parts. Over here. Over here. Now let me proceed to the upstairs, which is gonna lead us to the roof. Now the roof is honestly pretty basic. Only thing to mention is that we have these OG cracks in between the roofs. But that's it, so we can go down. Moving on, this drop down leads to the core of the base. And we have these shotgun traps, which are pretty much undrainable, unless you want to break them with grenades or rockets. Dropping down one of our vaults, second of our vaults, more loot rooms, and finally our unlootable TC. I want to show you the upkeep of this thing. It's pretty big, but this is because we built it in our final tier. Now let's quickly talk about the external TCs. Each of our external TCs has this triangle formation with a door in the front, and when we jump in we have this safe place to refill our TC. Now let's quickly stop and talk about the usage of reinforced glass windows. Right now they're being patched, being 350 health instead of 500, which basically lowers down the cost of raid of them to 1 C4 and 30 explo ammo. Raiding a garage door will be 1 C4 and 40 explo ammo, which is pretty much equal for me. But I'm still keen to use these glass windows just because it's much cheaper. Let's quickly talk about the upkeep of this TC. Second TC is completely the same. We just open the door, hop inside, and we have our safe spot. Now you might have a question, what if one of these wall frames got destroyed? Can I replace them because of the walls? Basically what we need to do, we just replace all our foundation, we replace our wall frames, we go to the other side, and we just easily replace them like so. So basically if you're accurate enough with the wall placement, you won't have any troubles with it. Alrighty, let's build this bad boy. I want to start with 2 foundations like so. 3 triangles on one side, 3 triangles on another side. This is the core of our base. And now watch out, because the base is quite big itself, so you'll need about 8 foundation space to both sides to put down external TCs, and also about 3 foundation space like so for Honeycomb and our custom gates. This gives a rough picture of the size of it. The only thing is make sure your external parts are quite low to the ground. We don't want anyone to jump into the compound. To start building, we select one of the triangle sides, upgrade it, and surround everything with walls. TC goes into this corner as to the left as possible. Don't forget that you need to be able to place a window in front of it later on. Of course we want to start expanding as soon as possible, so we'll make the space for another loot room to the right. Now we want some type of airlock because it's not secure really with these double doors, so let's just place this temporary wooden doorway to create one. And with this, our first wipe day starter base is ready. Well, now is a good moment to claim the area and put our external TCs before someone built right next to us. And we want to do that by placing 8 foundations and removing 7 of them. Now we want to place a triangle towards our base and 2 more triangles to the left. We place a doorway in this position and we close ourselves with walls. TC goes into this corner. First we want to lock it. Now we do exactly the same thing from the other side. Now let's work on our main base slightly more. So you want to enclose yourself with walls like so. And place a door over here. Now take off this door and get rid of this wall frame. Now you want to place a half-height floor and a wall frame over here. You won't be able to place anything until you have garage doors, so don't do it just yet. What we want to do on the second floor is basically the mirror of the first floor, so we go with some walls over here enclosing these 2 triangles and a door in the middle. Coming outside to the right, we're gonna have one of our loot rooms, so let's make it, and here we're gonna have a way up. This is going to be our main entrance. Of course we don't want to just climb on top of that thing, so let's make some jump up. We place a square foundation in front of our door. triangle foundation, triangle foundation. Now we want to place a square floor in front of our front door and make a half-height shelf in this position. If you want to, you can even make the same thing from the other side. I'm not gonna lie, this is looking goddamn weird. But this is going to change as soon as we honeycomb our base. But before we honeycomb, I want to actually upgrade everything to the final tier. And of course we'll start with the TC room, upgrading it fully to HQM. Once it's upgraded to HQM, we can enclose it with a window and upgrade it to sheet metal. All its ceilings go HQM. Everything else could go sheet. And we basically place them in every single slot. This loot room by the entrance is going to have its own garage door. Speaking about the loot room in front of our chute, I want to enclose it with a window just because our TC spot is this triangle, so I want it to be a bit more reinforced. And I will upgrade this far back and this triangle to sheet metal before enclosing it, just because it's a huge pain in the ass to, you know, to reach that triangle in the back. Right now from the outside it looks like this, which is exposing that we are rich. And doing that actually requires us coming back to the external TCs and placing a bunch of random foundations in the general direction of our base, like so. And we end up with this Pac-Man over here, which we can upgrade, by the way. We upgrade one more triangle on top of that Pac-Man, and we upgrade these two foundations. The rest of the twig can go, but I actually want to place some wall frames before. Now we can delete all the twig. And this is how the finished product looks like. And one more time. Well, now the time has come to actually start honeycombing our base, as well as doing our vaults, as well as doing our unlootable loot rooms, and all that sort of jazz. So I'm here by our entrance, and I want to hop under this thing. This is going to be one of our vaults, so I enclose it and place a sleeping bag, which I'm gonna say like bunker 1. Now we can close this thing. And this is honeycomb now. I'm gonna move to the back side of our base and do exactly the same thing. This is our TC spot. Right next to it, we place a square foundation, place 2 walls and a floor. Bunker 2. Goodbye. Now we connect 2 triangle foundations to the external TC part and 1 more triangle next to our vault square. Now, these little wings over here, I don't know how to call them, I just like calling them wings. We need them for our unlootable loot rooms. So let's make some on this side as well. Basically you want them to be all the way around the base like so. Well now, this is a very important and tricky moment, okay? You want to find your wings and you want to place a low wall under them facing that direction. You see, you want to upgrade it to stone, so once we enclose this wall, we're gonna have this corner thing over here. This will allow us to actually place a wall over here and have, you know, you see, it's like, it's no gap. If you don't place this low wall and you place this like so, we're gonna have like a huge gap over here, which is not gonna be covered by anything, and we obviously don't want that. We go all the way around the base, placing low walls like so, facing away from the vault. We come to this side, we do the same thing, upgrade it to stone, facing that way. Come here, place it here, facing that way. Alright, good, great. Now just a couple of more movements and the hotbot will be done. We want to place a triangle over here and then close it. This part of the base is now honeycombed. On the other side the same thing. This part of the base is now closed. Now speaking about the spots of our unlootable loot rooms, we want to enclose them with walls, just not the floors yet. Let me pause the video actually, because this triangle foundation behind the wall I'm about to place, you're never gonna see it again, so upgrade it to sheet metal. Sorry, I forgot to make it in the video. This is just a jump up, don't mind me. And this is the end of the tricky part. We obviously don't want to place our boxes right now to our unlootable loot rooms, so we're gonna close it like so. You need to connect this triangle to this square and then this triangle to the outer TC part, just so we have this little gap over here. Connect to the vault part, connect to the vault part, connect to the external TC, connect to the external TC. Don't worry, I'll show how to place boxes in these little cracks later on. And the last small tweak which I'm gonna do on this part, I actually want more doors. Compound time, and we're gonna start with the gates, of course. I'm here in front of our vault foundation and we're gonna place a triangle foundation. We're gonna upgrade it to stone. Square foundation, triangle, 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 and a square foundation which is going to be permanent. We'll place another square foundation, upgrade it to stone, and we want to place 2 wall frames like so. And now this is not technically connected, so we need to place just one of the walls of the future honeycomb. So we want to place a doorway, windows like so, and a couple of floors. And now again, I know that these things are weaker now, but they still serve. Now about these things. You want to place it as far from the base as possible and as to the corner as possible. This way the second one will fit with no problem. With no problem. No problem. Yeah, it's gonna fit no problem. With one custom gate ready, let's go to the other side and just, you know, make the same process. And this is how it looks like. Our custom gates are actually now complete. We can work on the actual compound now. Well, if you're a perfectionist like me and you want that perfectly shaped compound, then follow these steps. If you don't really care, just skip it. There's a timeline down there for this purpose. We want to hop to this part of the compound, tap on this triangle and place 4 triangles like so. We don't need these 3 in the middle, and we want to do the same thing on the other side. We use these 2 triangles on the left and on the right as a kind of a guideline. We can delete these things now. Now we come to our external gates and place 2 squares like so and a triangle. Now we want to place a wall using these 2 foundations as a guidance. I can tell you that right now, 1 wall is not enough, okay? Don't place 1 wall just like... Oh, fuck. Now we're gonna use this one as a guidance. Look at this. Look at this. And this is how it should look like right now.
Burn it.
Well, now once we have all the metal in the world, we want to start upgrading the rest of our base to metal, and we're going to start with these foundations on the external PC part. Here's Honeycomb of the first floor done. Let's do this as well. And the whole roof for sure. That's too early. You know what? We'll upgrade this anyway. Now let's make our main entrances and the second story hallway. First of all, we want to get rid of this thingy. Goodbye. So our main door is going to be in this position. This is actually the point where we want to stop using windows and start using metal shop fronts. Just because this is, you know, our actual base, we want to be it as strong as possible. We add some more walls to the sides of this thing. I proceed to another side. Doorway, shop front, door. Okay, what's next? Next we want to cover all of this with floors. Just leave these gaps. After that, start enclosing all your second story with walls all the way around the base. I'm gonna make actual jump ups. Now, before we completely cut the sunlight in this part of the base, we have these gaps into the walls. I don't really like them, so let's get rid of them. We jump onto this triangle, place a wall frame in this direction, then we come here, and we place another wall frame, alright? Now, if you look from the outside, you can see that the corners are both fat corners. And if you come outside and see a picture like this, that means that this wall frame on the right, we should rotate it. You need to come inside, rotate it, go outside, it's fixed. Now we don't have any gaps anywhere, seems like. Cool, let's close the roof, and I'm gonna start with this obvious square. Triangle, 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 triangle. And these parts are going to be connected to the outer TCs. And this is the footprint which you should see. Now, as you may have noticed, we have some gaps over here, so now we come to this spot and place a doorway to the right and a doorway to the left. Now you can of course place these as garage doors, no problem, but I honestly insist on having just some single doors so you can operate with them quickly. We come to the other side, we do the same thing. To keep our base symmetrical, above our second vault, I'm gonna place two doorways in the same position as above the first vault. And once we've done this upper part, it's important to come here and place some more honeycomb around these spots. And especially around this spot, because this is our unlootable loot room and we want it to be absolutely neat. You see there's quite a huge gap in here, and when I place this wall, it actually covers up because there's a low wall inside here making this a fat corner. I don't know how to explain this. This is a fat corner. Come to another side, make the same thing. We can still see this sheet metal wall in front of there, so if you want like a completely neat connection, place a triangle in this corner, place a wall frame, it's gonna close it up like nothing is there. Alright? The time has come because we are going to be working on our unlootable loot rooms. We want to take a box and we want to rotate it like so. Like so, so we have this long square. How do we call a long square Fuck's sake, I'm so dumb. So we want to rotate it like so. This is important because you want the lock to be on your side. Otherwise, you won't be able to reach it. And we want to stand in this corner. We want to place the box as far away from us as possible. Sometimes you can get this error, just, you know, slightly twiggle it and you'll be able to place it. Now, this is the point which I mentioned. You should be able to see this lock. Once you place it, you can lock it. You can unlock it so your friends can access it. So from now on you have an unlootable loot room.
Congratulations!
Let's quickly set up our vault system, and it's pretty simple and straightforward. You just place one drop box like so, another drop box, F1 kill, and I'll just ask my friends to give me some bits of things. Bags for them, a large box, small box, and just some resources to upgrade these walls. Speaking about HQM upgrades, it's definitely smart to upgrade the ceiling to armored and this wall. Of course, when you finish the vaults, place some shotgun trap, just so it's a nightmare to jump here. Alright, I really want to finish the base right now and make the roof and shooting floor and all that stuff, but I'm gonna actually make some minor tweaks in the compound structures because I just want to forget about them. So the first thing we want to do is we want to upgrade this line over here to sheet metal, and we actually want to come outside and upgrade these to sheet metal as well. Coming to the back side of the TC, we want to upgrade the whole TC compartment to sheet metal, and don't forget there's a roof as well. Now coming inside, we have just one reinforced glass window, so we're gonna place another one. Now, speaking about our gates, they are not the best protection right now because they have just like one door. So I'm gonna place another window in front of our door, add another doorway over here and place a door. Now this is the spot where you can add a double door if you want an airlock. Me personally, I like using airlocks as some kind of a depot storage slash base of operations areas. Just, you know, a couple of DBs over here and some stuff like that. And we do exactly the same thing on the other side. Well, now is the time to close up everything in terms of honeycomb inside the base. Some bits here and there. So we have a wall over here to close. We have a wall over here to close. We have a couple of garage doors, which are going in this direction. And we place a couple of garage doors in front of each of our unlootable loot rooms. Do the same thing on the other side, over here, wall frame, garage door, we're good to go. We're pretty much done in terms of upgrades. The last thing to do is upgrade this wall in front of our entrance to sheet metal. Go outside, upgrade these two walls to sheet metal. Do exactly the same thing from the other side. And then hop on the roof and just upgrade all these floors to sheet metal. Finally, roof time. And as I said at the beginning, I'm gonna show you several variants of the roofs. This is the cheapest one and the most simple one. First of all, we want to circle around with the wall frames like so. Place two doorways on the sides and place a window in the middle. Do the same thing from this side. And this is how it should look like. We want to place our reinforced glass windows in these spots. Of course, some doors. This is the general footprint. We can now close it off. So the first variant of the roof is an old style slanted roof variant. So we're gonna place two roofs like so and two roofs like so. Alright, this way we're gonna have these OG type of battlements. If you receive this picture without a gap in between them, maybe you prefer that variant, but that means that this roof is connected to the core of the base. We want to connect it to the outer part, like so. And this is how the first variant looks like. The second variant of the roof requires the same configuration in the center of it. Basically what we want to change from the first variant, we want to place windows all around the base. place the embrasures of your choosing and we're good to go. And honestly guys, I know this variant looks like a, you know, a can of tuna, but for some situations it could be perfect, like for heli takedown, or maybe you're living in a valley and you need these type of shooting for it. Fuck, I didn't mean to do that. If you are going for a bigger version of the base with external peekdowns and all that sort of jazz, the first thing you need to do is you need to extend your base one floor more. We want to enclose ourselves with walls all the way around. Gonna place wall frames in the cracks. About the way up, we want to mirror that side over here and place it like so. Well, now you have a whole room for your needs. I like using it for sulfur furnaces and for some extra deployables which are necessary. Moving on to the roof, we want to make almost the same thing with only one difference. We want another roof exit. So we're going to place a couple of walls in this orientation, just so we can have this extra door lit into the roof. Perfect. And now we do the same thing which we made previously. We place our wall frames around like so. A couple of garage doors on the edges, a couple of shop fronts in these positions. Doorway, doorway, window. Doorway, doorway, window. As you can see, we ended up with almost the same thing, but just one story higher. At this point, let's speak about our peek downs. We want to find this side where our external TC is, place a triangle on the right, place a square on the left, and a doorway in this position, like so. Now about this part. We want to come inside, take a floor triangle, and place it like so. We want another triangle over here and a triangle in front of us. Triangle over here, triangle in front of us. We just need to add more doorways in these spots and make the same thing from the other side. The thing to do now, we want to go all the way around with windows. Now I've placed embrasures all around the base, and the only thing left on the shooting floor is to actually place these doors, lock them, and open them forever. Right now, I think everything is pretty much done. The only thing left is the support system for this peek down. So what I want to do is I want to add a single piece of honeycomb over here and then just a couple of wall frames. As usual, our base is fully symmetrical, so let's do it from both sides. Yeah, that's better. On the roof, I like using stone barricades in these positions to just cover these cracks slightly, just so people need to break them before they can push their teammate inside. And just as a reminder, if you want to add some all-style roof battlements, you need to connect one to the external TC and one to the internal part. If there's not enough stability, just go down, place a wall frame, place a roof. I'm just placing these boxes because I expect you to have so much loot with this base that you'll need them. You'll definitely need them. Just like store some C4 inside. Did I forget something? Alright guys, I'm gonna throw it out. Oh yes! I forgot! This wall frame! It's not a wall frame, it's a window. And this thing! And these things! Okay, please upgrade them. Please don't be me, alright? Just upgrade them. I hope you enjoyed the base. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you next time.
That's ISO?
Rack it up, I gotta build up the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up, I got some gas, some packs, I'm up in the greenhouse. Ball it up, I'm with the gang, we taking shots off the rebound. Fucking my post to say now, I've been humble too long, yeah. Tell them all to stay calm.